Hello, everyone. Anna Robin here with the Tipsy Realtor.
Tipsy Realtors.
Anna's going to make up a song for us, a theme song.
No, you don't want to hear me sing. Trust me, I will stick to that whatever is there.
All right, so
but
today...
we got lots of bottles.
We do. Today, this is a pretty complex drink. It's called The Professional. And what it is
Sounds like 80s theme movie, The Professional, with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, it could be. See, that would be fun. To do movies and like cocktails.
To do movie themes. Oh, brilliant idea. We just come up with a new idea. Yay.
All right, so today we're going to make The Professional and talk about how real estate agents help determine the value of homes. And that's what we're talking about today. Yeah. So if you're ever curious as to how people are coming up with house prices, that's what we're going to help you guys learn and establish today. So this drink, as The Professional, is it's complex because of the fact that you've got your champagne glass, and you've got lots of drinks, and you even get to play with fire.
Ooh.
No fire hats this time.
Let's not burn my house.
All right, so we're starting with Chinook Rye Whiskey made by the Minhas Group. So we always like to support our local
producer.
And we have our glass that we're going to stir everything into. So an ounce and a half
of whiskey. We put in on ice into like a shaker or a tall glass.
Yeah, 1.5 ounces.
We're actually stirring. We're not shaking anything today.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Apple liqueur. So a lot of times people don't understand apple liqueur is just sourpuss. So it's sourpuss.
It's the green one.
That's right. It's the stuff you used to shoot when you were like 20 years old.
Well, the one we used to shoot was like the red one, I think. That was the more popular one.
That was like raspberry or strawberry.
Yeah, you also mix with Jack.
And then yellow chartreuse, just 1/4 ounce there.
Just a little, okay.
And then Amaro, and that's a full ounce.
What's Amaro?
Amaro is kind of like an Italian liqueur. There's a ton of different ways that you can have Amaro, but it's Italian, Spanish.
Okay, let me smell it. I've never seen it.
You smell it. And then we're going to stir it all together.
Kind of herby. Yeah, like just kind of get a close up. It smells like little herbs. Medicinal.
Now,
maybe it's good for my cough.
We have stirred it all, and we're going to let it chill in the glass. But we're going to take our sprig of rosemary, and we're going to dip it inside of yellow chartreuse, which is what this other shot glass is of. And then we're going to take a lighter, and we're going to light it on fire until it gets smoky. And now, if you don't have, I've got a smoke cover for my glasses, and if you don't have it, just put it on a plate and invert it upside down on the plate, and that's how you can get it to capture the smoke.
So it's getting there now.
It's getting there. See, we're gonna light Anna's kitchen on fire for entertainment.
I know, right? It's like this. The fire system's gonna go off.
Just like when you cook. All right, nice and smoky. We have a smaller glass, so we're going to cut it down. We're going to stick it inside the glass.
So just put it...
And then we have a smoke cover.
All right.
So the smoke cover is going to keep the smoke inside the glass and get it nice and smoky in there with the rosemary and the chartreuse and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to let it...
How long do you make it sit?
So it's all dependent on how smoky you want it. So if you want it really smoky, then you can actually keep it that way for a while. If you just want it a little smoky... Then you take the cover off, and you pour your drink.
I saw you pouring the first one. I'm going to step back.
I was rushing. For the Russian. So,
all right.
Here we go. That's it.
Okay.
And of course, you can probably, if you really wanted, a spring.
I like it how it's to the rim, Robin.
Here's a professional. We've never had this before.
The professional. All right. Oh, boy.
Thoughts? It's interesting.
Oh, that's apple hint.
It is an apple hint. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's like you have to kind of have a couple of sips in order to figure out if you like it or not.
Yeah, it isn't actually that bad. I think it would be one of those drinks that if you served, people would be doing that. Like what we're doing. Like, oh, yeah, okay, I can taste the apple. Oh, I can taste this. It's not.
It's very boozy. So it's very strong, very boozy. It does have that hint of whatever this is.
The herbal Amaro.
The herbal Amaro with maybe some of the rosemary smoky bitterness to it. But then it's kind of like sweet at the same time with that apple after hint.
Yeah.
It's kind of a very interesting drink for sure. It's a like it's probably more like a digestive. That's what they call it. The one you drink after the meal.
Yeah, it's definitely an after the meal drink. You don't start with this, but it would be one where people would be super curious as to like what exactly is inside it. And I think it would be an impressive cocktail. It's a very sophisticated cocktail, and I don't mean that as in like
you have to be a professional drinker.
There you go.
To hold it. That's why. That's a professional.
So
okay, all right. So it is a good cocktail. I think I would recommend if you like to try something on a boozy and a sweet side, and it's not one of those that overly overpowering. It's kind of smooth. I was
going to say that's exactly what I was going to say. Smooth. Yeah.
Let's talk about how us realtors help to set the price for the sellers. It's not just a number you take from the sky.
And we don't determine market value. We help interpret market data.
Yes, it's a very good way to put it, because a lot of people say, well, the realtor come up with the price. Technically, the buyers set the price for the homes because that's what they're willing to pay. As long as they're willing to pay, the price will go up. When they stop willing to pay that price, the prices start going down.
Absolutely. Like I have heard this, where people say, "Were that realtor, he depreciated the value of my property because he sold my neighbor's house too low." He sold the neighbor's, or she sold the neighbor's house for whatever the market would bear and whatever the seller would get. So it's pretty simple when you think about market value. It is set by what the seller is willing to sell for and the buyer is willing to buy for. And when you see markets slow down, that's because the seller isn't willing to sell for the price the buyer is willing to buy for. Where right now you're seeing the market speed up because the sellers are very happy with the prices the buyers are willing to pay.
Yeah, which is a lot more than it used to be in the last 6 years or so. So let's talk about how we do determine, like, what are we looking at in terms of to figure out the price? Well, of course, we look at the neighborhood, right? So when I'm looking, for example, at homes, I like to look what happened in like the streets around it, if we can get that close, because majority of homes have been built by the same builder around the same era with a similar floor plans.
Absolutely.
So that's the easiest way.
Yeah.
Then of course we look at the location. If it's on a busy road, then we would like to compare other homes in the same community in a busier road locations, right? If it's in the park, then of course there's a premium to be close to the green zones and ponds and things like that. So we'll look at that. That's the most important. Why are you smiling?
Because I was just thinking about the cocktail, and the term I always use with people is we have a green apple. And we're trying to find another green apple, but sometimes all we have is red apples. So then we're trying to compare the value difference between the green apple and the red apple.
Yes.
And then sometimes you have a green apple and all you find is avocados. So then you have to determine the price between an avocado and a green apple. So I'm just thinking it's funny because of the apple.
Because we have the green apple, though, yes. I mean, yes, that's a good analogy, the way Robin explains with the apples and avocados.
But
they can be green, but they both, one is apple, one is avocado.
Exactly. So if we can find the identical house to yours, the identical floor plan with similar upgrades, which in some of the suburban communities is easy, but once you get up into the luxury home market or the inner city houses where these houses have been around for 100 years, it can get quite difficult because there's a lot of other factors that can affect its value. It can be the width of the lot, the zoning, all that kind of stuff. And then obviously over 100 years, how the house has been upkept.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
all that stuff matters.
And I think it's also with the purpose. Like, what's the purpose of the house? There's a family homes, right? And then inner city homes, you buy them mostly for the lot because usually they're not large unless they've been redeveloped. That's completely different product. But then you're looking for the better lot, being close to downtown or be closer to certain amenities. Then that's how the buyer values those. And that's why it's very important to look where the house is located. And then we're looking at the features of the homes, right? The bedrooms and bathrooms, right? If you have more bedrooms versus the house, that has been like, let's rewind that. If you have less bedrooms than the homes have been sold, it's going to be minus in your price. If you have less bathrooms, then the house has been sold in the area. Again, that's going to be a minus. I think we're adjusting about $6,000 for the bathroom.
And so this is, it depends on the bathroom, obviously. Well, it depends on how beautiful the bathroom is. Is it a half bath? What does it have? But this is exactly where those adjustments come in. And it's for us as licensed professionals to try and figure out what those adjustments are. And they actually may vary community to community in value, because this is the other thing. And in market, they vary community to community, because this is the thing, is that if an ensuite in one community may not have the same resale value as an ensuite in another community. And a lot of people don't realize is that just because it costs so much to build it doesn't mean that that's the resale value of it. Because I had this the other day. I had a lovely couple. We were in a home and they said, well, how much? Like 15 grand to paint this home? And I'm like, 4? Oh, it's only $4 grand to paint this home? And they're like, really? And I said, yeah, because I just had one quoted out the other day and it was $4 grand. So these are the things that people, they're seeing 15 grand worth in their eyes in resale to get the house painted. But the reality of it is to do it is only 4, where not having that ensuite in some communities may be a $12,000 adjustment. But in other communities, it may only be a 2, because it's not something that's normal.
Exactly, yes. All the homes generally don't have them. And then we're talking about, how pretty the homes, all the upgraded features, right? We're talking about like granite versus laminate, hardwood versus carpet, things like that, and stainless steel appliances versus white appliances. That all kind of adds up in different numbers. So homes that exactly in the same street, same age, same floor plan, but one has been updated and one has not. That's taken into consideration. And that's when we're talking about the age adjustment as well. So let's say on that same street, there is a bungalow that has been updated and it's been all completely redone. And to the point that maybe if one structural wall left, they can update it to the new build, right?
So the rule is that one structural wall left allows them to avoid a demolition permit. And the age of a house is determined by the age of the foundation of when it was poured. So even if you demolish a house down to one structural wall and the foundation is still the original foundation from, let's say, 1950, even if you build that entire house back up, the house age technically is still 1950. So unless you pull the entire foundation out and re-pour the foundation, it still stays the actual age of the build, or the actual age of the foundation. But this is where we get into something that we call effective age versus actual age. So effective age means this is the age it feels like. And you can have a brand new home feel like it's 10 years old, or you can have a 10-year-old home feel like it's brand new. So that's the effective age. But the actual age is the year that it was built. That can't change. But with how people wear and tear homes, the effective age can vary based on how the house has been lived in.
And that's very important to remember, because just because your home is newer than the older home, sometimes if you've been rough on your home, or it's just you got lots of dogs, you got lots of kids, it just happens. It's
so you're saying don't have dogs and kids in homes?
Well, if it was my choice.
We love our kids.
Yeah, too late now. Well, I'm clear of the dogs. I'm keeping my dragon.
I have 2 lovely dogs. They're adorable.
And of course, basement development. So we talk a little bit about this. Of course, if the home sells next to each other, one has fully finished basement, another doesn't. Obviously, if it's the same price, people are gonna go and buy the fully finished basement
100%.
before, because there is more value for them. However, developing the basement just to sell a home, we know that you get about 50 cents on the dollar back.
Or less, depending on how you develop
But developed basement sells homes faster, if that makes sense. It doesn't bring a lot more value, but it is more in demand.
Especially in bungalows.
Bungalows,
so there's certain houses, in bungalows, extra square footage development matters. 2 stories, it's not as big of a deal, but it certainly is. Basically, the thing you have to remember, and this is my opinion, is most people will move into a house with great aspirations of things they're going to do to it, and they will do roughly half of those aspirations.
Those people.
Then what ends up happening? So if you're buying a house and in the base, we don't have the trade knowledge, unfortunately, out there as much as we used to renovate homes like we used to. So
well, it's just so much going on. The materials are up. The contractors are prices are up. There is actually less people who's doing construction. Yes, it's just getting way too complex, and there's so many new materials out there. But basically, that's what we do. We'll look at statistics of your neighborhood, or if you're in a condo, of your building specifically. We're looking at the streets, locations. We're looking at the features of the home, bedrooms, bathrooms, upgrades, what kind of flooring and cabinetry you got. We're looking at the age of the home, not necessarily how old it is, but how old it feels, and if it has a basement development or not.
And things to consider as well is obviously this is a very complex process, which is why getting a licensed professional, just me and Anna, honestly,
obviously.
Anna and I,
yes,
to help you evaluate the value of your home is what you need, because it's not easy. And there are times
where sometimes they're just like those avocados. Sometimes there's a lot of adjustments on avocados.
And you know what? There are times, and we're always honest with our clients. I had one client once where I walked in and I said, I know your house is at least worth this, but there is so much uniqueness to your house for this community that I can't guarantee what value it'll go for, but I know it's worth this. And they end up getting substantially more because we saw the results and the reaction to the house, and we pulled back and we slowed it down. So the biggest thing that you have to understand is pricing real estate is an art. It is not something that you can armchair quarterback. Selling real estate is an art. It is not something you can armchair quarterback.
Don't say my neighbor has sold his house for this much, therefore my house worth this much. That is what a lot of people do, and that's a wrong way of doing it.
Absolutely. And then, I've had people, they say, well, my neighbor listed for $900,000, and I say that's great. Based on all the material, it says you're worth about $5 million. You can fully jump on your neighbor's crazy train if you like, and his house isn't going to sell, and your house isn't going to sell. Just because you price a little under crazy, does not mean that means your home is worth that.
And I think this actually brings a good point, because
although I do apologize for the use of crazy. Actually, I apologize. I shouldn't have used that term. That was rude.
Yes, that's okay. That's the professional cocktail speaking. But one of the things, there is a difference between listing the house and selling the house. And if you want to just sit on the market with a price, you can do it. But selling the house, that's what the price to sell means, right? And it's important to do that. And when we do analytics of all that we just spoke with, we recommend the price on being competitive on your market. Let's say this is not like even last year or 2 years ago, when you have to be competitive against the people you were competing selling your home. You couldn't be the highest house on the market, because obviously every realtor will take their client to your home to show what it is, and then show other homes and sell one of those, because they're gonna look at this is way overpriced, right? So you don't want to be the house that's selling other houses. You want to be kind of in the middle, in the low end, and that's where it sells really fast and for more money.
Other things to think about as well is that when you're sitting there and you're putting your house up for sale, obviously you want to put it up for sale because you actually want it to sell. And the reality of it is you don't want to waste your time with a bunch of showings and keeping your house in show home condition, all that other kind of stuff.
Although it's a great motivator to live clean.
It is, but it's a lot of work. And honestly, when you're putting your house up, being realistic, being fair is the best way to get close to your asking price. And a lot of people actually think that just because they list their house at a price, that people are going to come in with substantially lower offers. The only way they're going to come in with substantially lower offers is if you're too high. And it doesn't matter where they start. It only ever matters where everyone finishes. And that's it. And just because you get an offer that is lower than your asking price, if it's lower than you're willing to accept, you don't have to accept it.
Yes, I think it's a good point. Again, a lot of people forget that they do have the right to say no or have the conversation. I like how you always bring up the offer means we can start a conversation
absolutely
about back and forth buying and selling a home. A lot of sometimes sellers or buyers might get personal, right? Get the feelings involved. I was like, I can't believe this. The price is so low, or they didn't want it to take our offer. But as a professionals here, we put those feelings aside and was like, listen, we just started talking. Let's hear, like, you know what the thing is? Like I always tell my clients, as a buyer, you want to give your best offer in the sense of what is best for you.
Yeah.
And the seller obviously wants what is best for them. And somewhere in the middle, there is a common ground.
Absolutely. And as I like to tell everyone, a good compromise leaves everyone miserable. If you think you've given too much and they think they've given too much, you're probably at the right price. And sometimes, though, the markets are in a position where you put it on the market and they give you way more than you're asking, and the buyers aren't happy, and the sellers are, and those are called sellers markets. And the inverse sometimes happens too, where the buyers feel like they're getting great deals and the sellers are unhappy, and those are called sellers markets. Buyers markets, sorry.
Yes.
So the best markets, my favorite markets, are balanced markets. Those are my favorite markets.
We haven't had those in a long time.
I know. But
all right. Fun stuff.
Okay, because I am so excited for anyone who's going to win this. Oh my gosh. Couple reconnect. I don't want details, but I am so excited for you.
Let me open my app.
And your person you get to share it with. Very exciting.
Okay.
So, thank you to everyone who liked and shared our show.
Got a whole bunch of new names.
So many new names.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So, let's spin the wheel.
Who's going to have a really exciting March?
It's spinning.
Someone's going to have a March of love.
It's
Lynn Gregg. Good for
Congratulations.
You.
I hope Lynn can use this. And
I hope you have a super great March. I'm buying this. I'm very envious.
Yeah.
Very excited.
So, about March and our next prize. March is a women's month, right? March 8th is coming up.
Every month is Women's Month, but March is specifically Women's Month.
March 8th is International Women's Day. It's a big deal where I come from, and we that's when the men actually bring flowers while you're still sleeping. So that's what my dad did to me when I was little.
Really? So I do have to say that there is a very special day, though, in March, even though it's Women's Month, and it's
my mom's birthday.
March 14th, but I'm sure your mom's birthday is very important to you.
March 14th.
Is it? Okay, so March 14th is actually a day for men, and it's the men's Valentine's Day.
Oh, really? There is such thing? Oh, I had no idea.
I can't say what it is. It's steak and something else. But if you look it up online, it's not for you here. So there is on March 14th one day in March that is for the men, and it's Men's Valentine's Day. So please
and it's on my mom's birthday, so you can celebrate my mom's birthday or the men's day.
Yes. So other than that, the rest of the month is Women's Month.
But as women, patio season is coming up, and we love to entertain. We love our wine and cheese. So we have a really cute board here for wine and cheese. You can put in the patio. It looks like it's just like single order for me portion. And we got actually patio glasses, so it doesn't break your glasses.
Or if you happen to be as graceful as I am, you don't break them. Because I'm so graceful that I break all my glasses.
I never break my glasses. My husband does. Maybe I should give him one of those. Yes. But so congratulations, Lynn, on our prize. And if you like and share and tag your friends on our videos, and we on all social media platforms.
Okay. And I do have to say thank you to Stephanie for finding us funny. For finding us funny, because we are quite funny.
Which part was it?
The March 14th, and I didn't want to say what day it was. It's Steak and Something Else Day. You should look it up.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to look it up now, because it's could be like a special day. Okay. So we on all social media platforms. Did you already do that?
No, I'm doing it.
So we on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and hopefully soon come TikTok. I know that TikTok is going to have 10-minute long videos soon.
Nice.
I know.
Which means we can do our show on
TikTok if we wait long enough.
Yes. Now, I will say this, though, is next week we have a great show coming, but I didn't write it down. It is planned. We have great content. We will promote it throughout the week so everyone knows what it is. But it was the one thing I missed today.
Oh, okay. And I am totally don't know what it is.
Absolutely. But
We've
it's
been
a great
very
show.
busy. We've been
Yes,
very busy.
it is a great show.
Yes.
You will love it. It is about very interesting real estate content with
And
an
it's gonna be an
amazing drink.
cocktail. Yes, you want that. And you start getting to enter into a new prize for the March month, which is much longer than February.
Absolutely. Like and share.
Yeah.
Like and share us, and you will be entered. Cheers.
Oh my God.
See, I told you
she's
I was
not a professional.
Graceful. I'm so graceful.
Thank you so much for watching again. Let's try this again.